Next up in the Heat Check Scouting Report series is Dynamo hybrid VJ Edgecombe, a Bahamian prospect who's been on NBA radars for some time now, being a consensus 5-star and ranking as the number 4 player in the class per RSCI. His measurements are sure to be some of the more pivotal at the NBA Combine, as he toes the line of big guard / small wing despite a skinnier frame. Across 33 games with Scott Drew's Baylor, he scored 15 points, grabbed 5.6 rebounds, dished 3.2 assists, and garnered just shy of 3 stocks per game, while shooting 44% overall, 34% from 3, and 78% from the line. Edgecombe will be just shy of 20 years old on draft night 2025.
Here's how Heat Check works. I'm going to identify one draft prospect and grade them on what I believe to be the most generally important skills and aspects of their game: athleticism, scoring, defense, passing and playmaking, and overall feel for the game. After those 5, I'll grade one additional skill relative to that prospect that I think is going to have the biggest effect on their stock. That will be deemed the swing skill. Each skill will be graded on the Heat Check chart with ranges from freezing all the way to scorching. When that's all said and done, I'll divvy out one final overall score.
Starting with VJ Edgecombe's athleticism, we've gone with our first scorching grade of the cycle. He's one of the most athletic players in this class. He has an extremely functional blend that's sure to increase his production at any level of basketball. As mentioned, Edgecombe stands at 6'5", likely just a hair under with similar wingspan, which are fine physical tools. But he has just about every athletic tool at his disposal relative to his size and role. Explosion is the name of the game for Edgecombe. He has go-go gadget rocket boots, able to spring into the air with quickness, rise high, and put out highlight reels with legit hang time. He's a phenomenal leaper off one or both feet, albeit one who could probably stand to refine his timing. He posted an elite 33 dunks and 20 blocks across 33 games. Phenomenal numbers for a guard / smaller wing. Additionally, Edgecombe's horizontal athleticism is nearly as good. He's at his best going north-south, breaking like a receiver off the line and getting downhill. He's blazing fast at full speed in the open floor, has a replicable, explosive first step, and decent enough lateral quickness. As we'll get into, Edgecombe's role is somewhat in question with him being a tweener with an odd amalgamation of skills, so has athleticism giving him a major boost in transition, getting downhill, defense, and even things like dunker spot actions is a huge plus. He'll be in the upper echelon of NBA athletes from the moment he steps foot on court. I've gone with hot for VJ Edgecombe's scoring. He's a talented scorer who has a great blend of production, advantage creation, and room for growth, and could very well have star potential. Across 33 games, Edgecombe scored 15 points per game, doing so on a solid 44% shooting overall, and 34% from 3 on decent volume at 4.6 per game. He both got to the line and converted at a great rate, 4.3 per game at 78%, and he finished with a 24% usage, playing off a few other talented guards at Baylor. Overall, posting a phenomenal offensive box plus minus of 7.1. With such elite athleticism, Edgecombe's scoring largely hinges on his downhill attack and rim pressure, though he parlays that into jump shooting frequently, making for an exceptionally deadly combination when things are flowing. He scored 48% of his points off field goals at the rim and 44% on jumpers, a near perfect blend that kept collegiate defenders on their heels and guessing. Despite his otherworldly downhill tools, Edgecombe finished just 54% on all at-rim shots and just 45% on layups. Not a great mark. The good news is that with his combination of athletic tools, he should be able to teleport to the rim consistently, meaning he'll only need to hone his touch and ability to play through contact, which could take some time, but I'm optimistic those things will come around. One of the biggest questions surrounding Edgecombe is exactly what he is. He doesn't have the one-of-one on-ball skills to command the rock as a point guard full-time. He's not the purest of sharpshooters, he's on the spindlier and shorter side for a wing, but I think there's several things that point to his ability to impact the game as an off-ball booster or secondary creator, just generally. Edgecombe scored in 3 major ways for the Bears: 127 points in transition, 119 spotting up, and 81 as the pick-and-roll handler. A pretty great blend of on- and off-ball usage. He ranked very good per synergy getting out in transition and spotting up, over a point per possession, using that blazing speed and verticality to beat defenders in the open floor or off the line and finish at the rim. All things I think are more than translatable to the NBA. Edgecombe was a bit of a question mark as a shooter coming into the season, and while the eye test and stats might indicate that this is still his swing skill, I actually feel fine enough in his Baylor numbers to feel comfortable about his shooting outcome. I love the pure volume, 34% on 4.5 attempts per game. I like the indicators, fine form, confidence, and 78% from the line on good volume, and the numbers suggest the spaced out NBA is set to help him out. He shot a blistering 47% on unguarded catch and shoot threes, 35% from three spotting up, and a white hot 48% from three coming off screens, albeit on low sample size. I've ultimately gone with hot opposed to scorching, as I'm just not sure Edgecombe is in line for the highest usage role at the NBA level, but I'm a massive fan of his scoring package regardless. For Edgecombe's defense, I've gone with hot. He's a nasty, grimy, versatile defender who can play make with the best of them, though I don't think he'll probably be in the most elite tier of defenders. Across 33 games, Edgecombe saw the same athletic infusion on the defensive side of the ball, using his rocket boosters and twitchy speed to nab 68 total steals and 20 total blocks for 2.1 and 0.6 per game. He also posted a very nice defensive box plus minus of 4.3 and pretty incredible relative steal and block percentages of 3.8 and 2.3 respectively. There's no singular area to my eye that Edgecombe thrives the most in right now outside of general defensive playmaking, but his elite athleticism and general instincts put him in advantageous positions all over the court, be it on or off ball. Edgecombe is snappy and twitchy enough to hound at the point of attack, and his off-ball playmaking speaks for itself as he jumps lanes, blows plays up with ferocity, and sends shots as a legitimate weak side shot blocker. And all this is tied together with his care factor and general relentlessness. He gets after it on defense, shows obvious give a damn, and as an evaluator, it's always really cool to see top-ranked prospects like this care about the defensive end of the floor when they shade towards offense. Despite the gaudy, ostentatious eye test in some of these clips, there's plenty of room for development on the defensive end for Edgecombe. He's prone to lapses in defending off the ball and can be a little overzealous in playmaking to the point it can hurt at times. Most importantly, Edgecombe can struggle one-on-one on the ball, largely due to his lack of strength right now, and that's not especially going to get easier at the NBA level. While he certainly has his moments at the point of attack, he's likely far away from being a go-to option there. In terms of Edgecombe's tools, primarily his more slender frame without an enormous wingspan or elite strength, I hesitate to put him into the S tier of defensive prospects, but given the offensive role he'll have, I think he's a pretty gnarly defender set to make an instant impact, and if he can find consistency in the high-end flashes, you've got yourself an absolute monster. For VJ Edgecombe's passing and playmaking, I've gone with the warm grade. I think his Baylor tape featured a mostly positive passing game and one that could stand to grow in the pros. Across his 33 games, Edgecombe totaled 106 assists to 64 turnovers, good for 3.2 to 1.9 per game, and near 1.7 assist to turnover ratio. He saw a 19% assist percentage, not necessarily indicative of elite NBA guard, but very good for his archetype. For the most part, Edgecombe's passing playmaking game is really simple, making extra passes, the correct reads out of the pick and roll, general ball moving or post-entry passes to Norchad Omier, which were admittedly a large chunk of his assists. There's not a ton of flair in regard to his velocity, accuracy, or live dribble work, but one major plus is that he has great feel for drawing doubles with snappy bursts downhill and quickly passing out to open shooters, a great skill for his potential as a secondary creator. His jittery start-stop can lead to some fun angles and lobs. As with any prospect who has a higher usage, there's some pop in his passing game, but nothing quite consistent enough to help me land higher in this area. As we've touched on and will get into, Edgecombe's handle isn't supreme, so there's times his passing and playmaking can be held back by the fact that he can't seamlessly put the ball down while floor reading, bring it up, and make accurate passes with great precision. It can be a pretty choppy process right now, similar to his scoring. In summary, I think the bones of a good passing game could be in the cards for Edgecombe down the line, but for now there's not much special on tape, otherwise he'll be positionally solid and a plus. For VJ Edgecombe's unquantifiable feel for the game, I've gone with warm. I think in terms of things that make up actual feel for the game, innate instincts, quick processing, general awareness, intuition, anticipation, IQ, Edgecombe is solid, almost high floor in that regard. But the kicker is that his motor and edge help to close the gap between himself and legitimate high field players. Edgecombe not only has elite athletic tools and enough field to help him coast the shiny stat lines, his intensity puts him into an elite group, able to make multiple plays per game that his peers simply can't. He posted the third highest box plus minus among true freshmen at 11.4 for good reason. He's just got it factor.
Many would point to VJ Edgecombe's ranged shooting as his biggest swing skill, and while I've already given evidence why I'm not too worried about it, I'll cede that I think it's important for his floor in the NBA. But Edgecombe's handling is pivotal to his ceiling in the league, which when we're talking about potential top 3 to 5 prospects, I'm much more interested in. As we covered, Edgecombe has premier horizontal athletic tools: first step, burst, explosiveness, buzzwords, but for as quick a mover as Edgecombe is, his ball handling sometimes has a hard time keeping up. He can be pretty loose with the ball, getting wild the faster he's going, and he can sometimes be prone to getting ripped or even just losing it unprompted. Edgecombe doesn't have a strong dribble move arsenal and can sometimes be pigeonholed to certain driving angles due to his lack of general creativity, potentially leading to some of those earlier finishing concerns. I haven't been shy about my lack of knowledge in how to actually improve a handle or what goes into it. I think anybody good at predicting this skill is likely already on NBA payroll, but if you think you've got the science for it, Edgecombe is likely the top player who could benefit. Now, his handle certainly isn't bad. It's functional enough for his current role, hence the warm grade, but in order for him to break into NBA stardom, it'll have to get better. I have a hard time even imagining Edgecombe's ceiling if his handle truly does see major improvement early in his career. A jumbo guard able to advantage create in the blink of an eye, teleport around, nail jumpers, and pass and defend. If I didn't know better, that would sound a lot like a perennial star. The grade. I've gone with a grade of 8.7 for Baylor hybrid VJ Edgecombe. Most simply, I think he's got the pedigree, resume, and a great blend of pro-level skills that I'm pretty confident should land him in the top 3 to 5 of the 2025 NBA draft. We can sometimes get really caught up on negative tweener skills. I am myself guilty of being unable to get past them sometimes. But in Edgecombe's case, I think he's simply too good at too many things to think he'll fizzle entirely. I think his combination of insane functional athleticism, good scoring and defense, plus passing and motor give him a relatively malleable high floor and an obviously high ceiling. What happens if the game slows down for Edgecombe and he pieces a few of these things together? That very thought makes him one of the top picks in this class for me, and if not, you've still got a two-way energy piece a la Bruce Brown, and I think that whole middle ground is worth betting on in this draft. That's it for this one. Let me know what you think of VJ Edgecombe, what you grade him, where you draft him, drop who you want to see in the next heat check, and we'll see you next time.